Hello, everybody. This episode of the Lewis Sabin Video Podcast is brought to you, as always, as a huge thank you to Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan Experience Podcast. You can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on iTunes. Joe Rogan's a very funny man. Without him, I'd have never thought about doing this podcast. And you can listen to his comedy on Spotify. Also brought to you as a huge thank you to Science. The only energy drink I drink, 0 calories, 0 sugar, no crash, no jitters. The great tasting 0 calorie energy drink, real energy for real people. The unique formula that gives you the hashtag Power2 podcast. Today I'm drinking Melon Mayhem. I always say this spiel at the beginning of all my podcasts. I know you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times. This really is the best energy drink that I can drink. That I could ever tell anybody to drink. And you can believe me because I'm not paid. At all. I make $0. $0 on all the shit I say before my podcast. I just wanted to give a shout out to this lovely product. It's truly delicious. I was asked by a buddy of mine not too long ago, what kind of like best flavors are. I'm gonna start out with all of them are good. My favorite they got rid of. I'm kind of sad. I hope they bring it back for the summer. And it was a raspberry lemonade, I believe. It's delicious. Melon Mayhem is really good. It's like a watermelon. Frostberry Blast, which is one of the originals, is always fantastic. Hang on. Fuck off, McAfee. Is always fantastic. McAfee, yeah. No, McAfee's a fucking pain in the ass. Science. Frostberry Blast is one of the originals. It's fantastic. The Fruit Punch is one of the originals. It's pretty good. I gotta think. Is it Cran Raz is good. I'm trying to think of the one that I always like to get. Blue Palm. Blue Pomegranate is fantastic. All of them are good. The Tangerine one is the only one I can honestly say I wasn't the biggest fan of. I mean, I'd drink it, but it's not my favorite. Alright, let's crack this baby open and move on. Okay. So, sports world. Nothing is going on other than this. There's stuff going on in MMA, but other than that, it's pretty quiet. It's mostly quiet along the Western Front. Not completely. Last weekend on Sunday, which, by the way, can I just say this to the lovely people of the UFC? So that would be Dana White, Fajita, and I'm going to screw up his name. Joe Silva, I believe. They do all the picking. I'm pretty sure they also help out with where they're going to station what card at. Stop putting Fox cards on Sunday. Stop. It's stupid, and no one likes it. Because I clear my Saturday, and I'm like, awesome, fight. Oh, it's not on. It's on tomorrow. So not only do I not get Fox, so I have to go somewhere to go watch it, now I'm stuck wherever I am for 2 fucking days. Really? Just stop. Another thing that would be nice. Fox cards. They're free to the public as long as you have Fox Sports 1. What I mean by free to the public is I don't have to pay extra like pay-per-view. I don't get Fox Sports 1. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg to get Fox Sports 1. So I can't watch it. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'll just go to my Fight Pass that I pay for. And I'll watch on Fight Pass. Yeah, no, you can't. Because it's on cable. So they don't put it on Fight Pass. Why not? Because there's other people who don't get different channels. Like, for a while there, they did it on Fox Sports 2. Well, Comcast customers don't get Fox Sports 2. I used to be a Comcast customer. When I lived with my mom, that's what they had, Comcast. And they're like, the fights are going to be on Fox Sports 2 because Olympic bowling or something stupid is on Fox Sports 1, so we can't show that. And you're like, you fucking kidding me? I don't get Fox Sports 2. And they're like, oh, that sucks. You're not going to, it's a free fight. It's one of the free fights that they put on cable. Not going to put it on Fight Pass? No. You have to watch it on cable. put it on Fight Pass. I'd rather watch it on Fight Pass. That's my spiel about that. So this past weekend, on Sunday, there was a fight. It was, I was trying not to look it up. It's, Garbrandt and, hang on. I thought I could do this without pulling it up. I don't have a choice, because I was going to do something else, but I'll do that in a minute after I cover this one fight and, the next couple weeks. Yeah, it's awesome to hear from you. My buddy Specker is talking to me. Big shout out to my buddy Danny Specker. He is currently in the Navy aboard a submarine. I have no idea where he is. Thanks for serving this lovely, lovely country, as much of a shithole as it may be. And it's full of shit people who honestly should have been aborted. But you're a fantastic person. Love you, buddy. Please come home soon. I'd love to see you. In the meantime, though, you're doing a fantastic job. Let me see here. Ah, son of a bitch. Hang on. It got overtaken by ads. Hang on. I gotta try something else. Would you like to see our 9 ads? No, I wouldn't. I'd like to look at the fucking fight card like I was doing a second ago. That's them talking to me. Hang on. Where'd my phone go? Ka-bling! That's Facebook. Ka-bling! It's nice, but at the same time, it's a pain in the ass because, like, 6 people on the bus will have that as, like, their text thing. So every time it goes, bing, you're like, the fuck's trying to get a hold of me? Nobody. It's the person next to you. I just want to... Sorry, it's stuck in my head. Alright, so it was Cody Garbrandt against Thomas Almeida. Also on the card, we'll start from the bottom, as always. We'll start from the bottom and end up at the top. Or as that one guy would say, we'll start from the bottom and then end up here. The first fight was Adam Milstead against Chris De La Roca. He lost via TKO in the second round. Adam Milstead won. And the next fight was a bit of an upset. Brian Caraway against Aljamain Sterling. Brian Caraway won via split decision. I'm going to go back and look at the fight. I didn't get to watch that one. Because you assholes put it on Sunday, I forgot it was on. So I'll have to go back and watch that one. I heard that it was a cool decision, no problem. And then I heard from a couple other people that it was a shit decision. So I'm going to go back and look at it. The third fight, Eric Koch against Shane Campbell. Eric Koch won by submission rear naked choke in the second round. Next is Jake Collier against Alberto Emmanuel Ferreira. Pereira lost via knockout, knees, and body kicks. The fifth fight on the card, my boy Abel Chahio against Jordan Quinalde. Chahio won by unanimous decision. On the sixth fight, Sarah McMahon fought Jessica I. Sarah McMahon won unanimous decision. You know, when I go through this and I do that, on this fight, I always feel like I'm doing the 12 Days of Christmas. I'm weird. Shit like that runs through my head. On the seventh fight, it's Paul Felder against Josh Berkman. Felder won unanimous decision. Eighth fight, Lorenz Larkin against Jorge Masvidal. Split decision, Lorenz Larkin won. Ninth fight, Chris Carmuzzi against Vitor Miranda. Carmuzzi won by decision. The 10th fight, Rick Story against Tarek Safradine. Rick Story won by decision. The 11th fight, Jeremy Little Heathen Steven fought Henan Barao and destroyed him through rounds 2 and 3. It ended up being a decision. Jeremy Stevens won. And the main event, Cody Garbrandt against Thomas Almeida. In 2 minutes, 53 seconds, Big John McCarthy had to throw Cody Garbrandt off of Thomas Almeida. He won by knockout. I love when my phone goes off to tell me things, and then it's crap that I don't care. Twitter wants to tell you something. Yeah, I'm never on that, so I don't care. I'm sure there's a way you can turn that off, but at the same time, it's like I don't want something big to happen and we miss it. Alright, this Saturday, June 4th. Can't believe it's already June. It's the 1st today. For those of you who are uninformed. Let's see here. UFC 199. Keep scrolling. Hang on. Ooh. Really? The first fight is Dong Hyun Kim against Marco Polo Rios. The second fight is Kevin Casey, who needs to get fucking cut from the roster already. He got cut once and then brought back. I don't know why. Against Elvis Mulapechik. Third fight, Jonathan Wilson against, damn it, Luis Henrique de la Silva. To the Brazilians out there of the world, stop making your name so fucking long. It becomes a pain in the ass for people like me who try to read this. Fourth fight, Sean Strickland against Tom Breeze. Fifth fight, Cole Miller against Alex Caceres. I was wondering if Bruce Leroy is going to fight again. That should be a pretty good fight, actually. The sixth fight, Jessica Penne against Jessica Andrade. That should be a decent fight. Seventh fight, Beneil Dariush against James Vick. Dariush probably destroys Vick. Although, James is one of those weirdos where you think he's going to get his ass kicked and somehow he beats you. With the eighth fight on the card, the most boring fighter in the UFC currently on roster, Clay the Carpenter Guida against Brian Ortega, just to prove how boring he is. It was on this card, UFC on Fox, I think it was 4 or something like that, in Chicago, and I fell asleep during his fight. That's how boring he is. The ninth fight on the card, Dustin the Diamond Poirier against Bobby Green. That is a very exciting fight. I'm very interested to see how Poirier does against Bobby. Should be solid. The 10th fight's Dan Henderson against Hector King of the Lizards Lombard. No, that's not really his name. He looks like a fucking lizard. Hector stepping up from welterweight to light heavy to fight Dan Henderson. And I really hope Hector beats Dan, but at the same time, it's one of those where that right hand of Dan Henderson, you just got to keep an eye out for it, because if it touches you, you're out cold. Hopefully Hector gets the win. I'm definitely rooting for him. The 11th fight on the card is Max Holloway against Ricardo Lamas. Ricardo Lamas is coming off of a loss to Frankie Edgar, I think. I'm pretty sure he's coming off a loss to Frankie Edgar. Let me look. Keep scrolling. Oh no, that's right. He's coming off a loss to Chad Mendez. Sorry, he's coming off a loss to Chad Mendez, and then he won right after that in November against Diego Sanchez. I forgot he fought Diego, who's a murderer. I'm hoping for Max. I like Max Holloway a lot, but Ricardo's a motherfucker. And, you know, he's not saying that Ricardo can't get caught and get dropped, but Max Holloway is a solid fighter. The co-main event is a title fight. It's a 2-title match on this card. And that fight is Dominic Cruz defending his bantamweight title against Uriah Faber. This is the third time they fought. The first time they fought was Dominic Cruz in the WEC against Uriah Faber, and Uriah tapped Dominic Cruz by guillotine, I believe. It's either guillotine or a rear naked choke. Then Dom fought Uriah again and dominated him. Now Uriah, of course, because Uriah is stupid, says, you know, oh, that was a close fight and I think I won it. Well, then you must be on crack, because I watched that fight and you got destroyed. I'm leaning towards Dominic Cruz because you can't hit what you can't. Fuck, how is I going to word this? I had something nifty for this. You can't hit what you can't see because of how fast he moves. There we go. I can only speak English. He does such a good job of sliding in and out of cuts. landing punches and then sliding out of the way that you just can't hit him. So I think Dominic beats Uriah again. And hopefully Uriah retires. Because fuck him. The next fight is also first it's the main event, and secondly is also a title defense. It is Luke Rockhold defending his middleweight title against a man who A, doesn't deserve this shot, B, I hope is the first death in the UFC during this fight, and third of all, if he doesn't actually die, which would be disappointing, hopefully he retires, which will be almost as okay. Luke Rockhold is fighting Michael the Count Bisping. Michael Bisping is the most cunty asshole fighter I've ever watched. He has ruined 3 great fighters' careers due to eye pokes and illegal things that they just don't call. His last fight, he fought Anderson Silva, where he won by decision in Britain. Reason I put these things in quotations. First of all, no, he didn't. He lost. By all means, if you watch that fight again, he lost. Secondly, he then went... Okay, so to explain. Supposedly, at the end of the round, he lost his mouthpiece, which you're not supposed to do. Because it's actually pretty fucking hard to lose your mouthpiece. Secondly, so he loses his mouthpiece, supposedly, and then takes this beautiful flying knee by Anderson right to the chin, drops him. He's unconscious. If you watch his head, everyone says, no, he's fine. He came to. He was all right. He was conscious when he hit the mat. No, he is out, hit the ground, hit the fence, and then went up and woke up. He was out cold. Fight should have been stopped. Fight gets stopped. Anderson celebrates. Obviously. Then they claim, again, I claim that, well, Michael Bisping's mouthpiece fell out, and he wasn't unconscious. Anderson should have tried to finish him. That was the end of the round. Although, if you watch the replay, there was 2 seconds left in the round last I checked. There was like 2 or 3 seconds left. When this occurred. So they get Anderson off the cage. They tell him, nope, you gotta start fighting again. Anderson does what Anderson does. Bisping does what he does, which is stand still. And goes to decision. I watched the fight. Anderson won rounds 2, 3, and 5. Or 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or no. He won 2, 4, and 5. That's what it was. By my observations. I'm trying to remember when he got dropped. I think he got dropped in the second. Or in the third. Sorry. He didn't get dropped. It was one of those where he caught him and he hit the ground. He was okay. He wasn't hurt. Didn't look, at least from what I could tell, he didn't look injured. He looked alright. He got up, kept going. Bisping, in my opinion, lost the decision, but because they were in Britain, to be exact, I believe they're at the O2. Click on them real quick, I can tell you where they were. Yep, they were at... It was on Fight Pass, so I got to watch it. It was in the O2 in London. By the way, Michael Bisping is a British fighter, so just so surprising that you won. So he gets, to explain, first of all, it was supposed to be Luke Rockhold against Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman gets hurt. If you're wondering what those bangs are, I don't know if you can hear them or not. That's the garbage guy picking up the trash. So supposed to be Rockhold, Weidman 2. Weidman got hurt. Now it's Bisping. And I'm looking through Bisping's record right now, and let's just discuss this for a second. Who has Michael Bisping fought and beat that's worth anything? Let's go all the way back to UFC. Let's see, when did he first get signed to the roster? Ultimate Fighter 3 finale. He fought Josh Hayes. Don't know who that is. Then he fought UFC 66. Beat Eric Schaefer. Then he fought Elvis Sosik on UFC 70. UFC 75, he beat Matt Hamill. So let's look at this. Nobody, Matt Hamill. UFC 78, he lost to Rashad Evans, back when Rashad was in his prime. So we'll say he's fought 2 people so far. Then he fought Charles McCarthy, don't know who that is. Jason Day. Chris Lieben. So a bum. Dan Henderson, who he lost to. Dennis Kang, he beat. Then he turns around and loses to Vanderlei Silva. He beats Dan Miller. That's not that big of an accomplishment. Then he beats Yoshihiro Akiyama at UFC 120. He beats Jorge Rivera at 127. Jason Miller at the Ultimate Fighter 14 finale. And then he loses to Chael Sonnen. So let's look at this a second. You lose to Vanderlei, which this is when Vanderlei was really good at the time, so that's not that surprising. Then you beat Dan Miller, Yoshihiro Akiyama, Jorge Rivera, and Jason Miller. So one fighter who's okay. Akiyama, who I believe at that time was on his way out of the UFC, and then 2 bums. And then you lose to Chael. Then he beats Brian Stan. Then he gets knocked out by Vitor. Then he does this. He illegally eye pokes Alan Belcher in the eye, destroys his optic nerve. Alan Belcher is forced to retire. I don't care what anybody says. That was at UFC 159, Jones vs. Sonnen. If you watch that fight, he claims, I bumped him in the eye, it was an accident. However, if you watch the replay, he throws a punch, and on its way there, he opens up his finger and jams it into his eye. So, you destroyed Alan Belcher's career, and you won, even though you should have been kicked out of the UFC and banned from mixed martial arts. Then you lose to Tim Kennedy. Why didn't I see that? Oh, that's because it was on the Ultimate Fighter Nations finale. Oh, that was with the shit UFC Ultimate Fighter. Then he goes UFC 48. Fight Night 48. And he fights Kung Lee. A bum. And he beats a bum. Then he gets Luke Rockhold, and he loses to Luke Rockhold by guillotine choke. Then he goes on a 3-fight winning streak against C.B. Dalloway, Thaw Lights, and Anderson Silva. Let's discuss this for a moment. All 3 of those should be highly suspect, because all 3 of those are by decision. Now, it used to be, we're going to decision, and it used to be, oh, cool, both fighters, if I could speak English, went at each other, beat the fuck out of each other for 3 to 5 whole rounds. Now they're going to decision, they're doing their thing. Whoever wins is whoever wins, but this is a great fight. Yeah. Now it's more like, oh shit, it's going to decision. Now you gotta figure out who is the judge. Who are the judges? Because, let's see here. Most of the judges that do MMA are on cocaine. And ecstasy, and TRT, and any other drug that is possible to fuck with their judgment, because they're fucking idiots. Am I claiming that I know everything and I know everything? When it comes to mixed martial arts, no. I know a lot. So when I watch some of these and they're like, oh yeah, this guy lost. Generally when, 99% of the populace goes, what the fuck? Probably not a good decision. Now, see, if you go to like the UFC page on Facebook and all those people are raging, only like 3 of those people are right. But let's see real quick. So he beat CB Dalloway. Where was that fight? Oh shit, wrong button. Hang on. He beat CB Dalloway in April of last year. Come on, give me my little option to click on this. Hang on, the internet's being slow. It does from time to time. Johnson versus Horiguchi. This fight was in Montreal. So, based on what I know from the judges that are from Montreal, probably actually a good decision. So for the sake of argument, we'll say 1 in his corner. Yep, he probably won that fight. The next one was in Scotland. Automatically suspect. Not saying the British and the Scot get along, but since this was a split decision, let's just say, again, because they're in fucking Scotland, that's suspect now. So you're 1 for 1. And then the next one's Anderson Silva, which I already said is suspect. So there. That's 2. So arguably, let's say you beat CB Dalloway and then you lost to the next 2 guys. That's not that far of a thought. That both times the judges fucked up and gave you the win for no apparent reason. So that's that. I hope Luke Rockhold, honest to God, murders him. And I don't mean like I hope he beats him down till he is no longer able to fight. No, I mean I hope he hits him, snaps his neck, and dies. If Bisping died in the octagon, I would not care. In fact, I would laugh, because fuck Michael Bisping. Fuck it. Alright, wait for the page to load real quick. Alright, we're up. I gotta wait for little ad things to pop up along the side that I don't give a shit about. There we go. So otherwise it won't let you scroll. So to continue with all this other shit, hang on a second. Fights that have been announced. McDonald versus Thompson is on the 18th of this month. July 7th is Dos Anjos Alves. July 8th is Ultimate Fighter 23 finale, which is Claudia Gadelha and Joanna's team. Then July 9th is UFC 200, which has been confirmed to be Cormier Jones 2. Let me quick see if they've added anybody to that card. I don't think they have, but... Oh yeah, that's right, they did. So at the moment, they're not done, obviously, with the card. I forgot, that's right, they added that. So, to explain, the card still is only so-so, but it's not as bad as it used to be. At one point, it was just god-awful. Now, at least they got some big names on there that are... It's still not 200 worthy, but at least it's not garbage. The third fight on the card is Sage Northcutt against Enrique Martin, who no one knows who that is. So basically, they're just throwing him a fight because he's their boy. The fourth fight on the card is Kat Zingano, Juliana Pena. That's actually a really important fight. Don't know what's doing it for. 5 is Takanori Gomi against Jim Miller. That should be a really good fight. 6 is Joe Lozon, Diego Sanchez. That should be a motherfucker of a fight. 7th is TJ Dillashaw, Rafael Sunsao. Dillashaw knocked Sunsao out in like 90 seconds. 8 finally is going to happen. So to explain 8. 8 is Johnny Hendricks against Kelvin Gastelum. This fight was supposed to happen November of last year. But Johnny Hendricks can't show up on weight, so they had to cut the fight from the card. So we're hoping that Fat Fuck Hendricks actually shows up on weight for a change and fights Kelvin. I think Kelvin beats him. 9th is Gegard Mousasi, Derek Brunson. 10th is Cain Velasquez, Travis Brown. 11th is Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar. 12th is Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes. And then the main event is Daniel Cormier, John Jones. Again, not a fight I'm really excited for, that I absolutely want to see, because John's just going to kill Daniel. Let's be honest. I love Daniel Cormier. I think he's a great guy, but John's going to kill him. After that, July 13th is Ferguson Chiesa. Let me see who else on that card real quick. Oh, that's the return of Michael McDonald. Okay. So far on this card, Ryan Hall, Alex White, Rani Yaya, against Matthew Lopez, Alex Nicholson, Devin Clark, Scott Holtzman against Cody Pfister, Alex Wolanek against Daniel, God damn it, Amalanchek. I can never pronounce his name. Kyle Note, Kieta Nakamura, Louis Smoka, Ben Ginn, Tim Bosch against Josh Salmon. Okay, that's when he fights next. And then John Lineker against Michael McDonald, which is a big fight. I love Michael McDonald. I'm glad to see he's coming back, but I think Lineker kills him. And then Tony Ferguson, Michael Chiesa. I'm a big Tony Ferguson fan. I wasn't sure what to think of him when he first came into the UFC. He's done a really good job so far. And then I found out he's actually from here, my hometown. Not strictly from Grand Rapids, but I mean, he's from my home state. He graduated from GVSU, Grand Valley State. So that's a pretty big deal. Then after that is July 23rd, Holmes versus Svechnikov, or Svechniko. Sorry, if I could fucking read. What the fuck is her first name? Valentina Svechchenko. Sorry, if I could read, we wouldn't have this problem. Oh, they're already done with the card. A bunch of nobodies. The new guy. Francis, I think it's Giano, how it's pronounced, is going to fight. He's fighting Bjorn Halajovic. Tony Martin against Bum, George Sullivan, Hector Ubina, Alex Oliveira against James Montessori, Alexander Yakovlev against Ryan LaFleur, Jim Allers against Jason Knight, Danny Elkins against Godofredo Castro, Felix against Kaylin Curran, Eddie Wineland, Frankie Saenz, Edson against Gilbert, Anthony against Glover, and Holly against Valentina. Those last 4 fights make the whole card. They could have honestly put bums after that, and I would still go to it. Mostly it is bums, to be honest with you. There's a couple of okay fights, but otherwise, bums. July 30th, UFC 201 is Robbie Lawler against Tyron Woodley. It's finally going to happen. That should be a really good fight. Then it's Demetrius Johnson against a bum, because that's all that's left. He's going to murder him. It's Wilson Heiss. Then Ian McCall, Justin Scoggins, Matt Brown, Jake Ellenberger. I thought he got cut. Cisco Rivera against Eric Perez. Michael Graves against Bihan Vilichekov. Sia Bahrazada against Claudio Henrique de Silva. And Damian Brown against Cesar Arzamendia. 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 Arzamendia, something like that. I don't know. People have fucked up names. I can't read all of them. 202 is yet to be announced. Arlovsky's going to fight Barnett in September. And then September 10th, Miocic is going to fight Overing. The only other fight out of that card is Fabricio Verdum against Ben Rothwell. They've announced that in November they're going to go back to Mexico City. And then on the 12th of November, Madison Square Garden. They haven't confirmed who's on that card to my knowledge. Let me quick check. I don't think they got anybody on that card yet. Nope. That should be a pretty interesting card, I would imagine. The rumor is they're going to put Ronda Crybaby and John Jones on that card. I live with that. It's okay. So, to move on. Interesting things going on just right now. I'm on Amazon. I'm a Prime member. And I'm checking out the movies and stuff that are on here because I get sick of Netflix. And so I was looking at, the Prime TV shows. And there's a couple that I'm really interested in. Hand of God I'm interested to see because the actor that's in it I fucking love. The Man from High Castle I have watched. It's pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. It's a really good show. Transparent I heard is supposed to be really good. I haven't seen it. I heard that, is it Bosch? I think it's pronounced Bosch. B-O-S-C-H. I heard that's supposed to be a really good show. I haven't seen it. I recently started watching, and I know this is going to sound horrible because everyone associates this with, I'm sure you're going to talk about it, The Wire. I started watching The Wire. So far, so good. I mean, it's interesting. I'll watch it. Justified's on here, all the seasons. I finally watched the final season of that. Oh my god, is that such an amazing show. The Sopranos, all of them are on here. That's a really good show. Band of Brothers is on here. I own it, so I really don't care. They put The Americans from FX on here. True Blood's on here. I've never seen True Blood. I've heard good things, but I don't know. It seems kind of weird. I already talked about Hand of God. The Newsroom is on here from HBO. I intend on watching that if it'll let me. I think I can. That show, from my understanding, is amazing. Veep I checked out. I don't know. It seemed weird. It's one of those, I think, where you get it or you don't. And since I only started watching it in like the third season, that's probably why I didn't understand it. The Pacific, of course, is on here. Falling Skies, which I've heard from people saying it's good. I don't know. I thought it was a little far out there. From the person I know that watched it, I heard that like season 1 and 2 were amazing. And then after that, the writing went from pretty good to not so great. And then from not so great to, to garbage. And the only reason I kept watching it's because, much like myself, you hate to start a show and then not finish it. All of 24 is on here, including 24 Redemption and Live Another Day, which they are renewing 24. They're giving it a different story with a different person. I'll give it a shot. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Fox constantly doing this because, they're idiots and can't come up with their own original ideas. Under the Dome is on here. I see that they've got season 3 up. I think that's the last season. I never watched it. I heard good things, actually. I mean, I'm not into it. Hannibal's on here, which, in my opinion, is god-awful. Entourage is on here that I've never seen. Rome got put on here. I saw this not too long ago, that Rome's on here. I heard that was a good show. It's on HBO. I'll check it out. Oh my god. I am in love with HBO Prime now. Or HBO Prime. Amazon Prime. They put Eastbound and Down on here. Okay, I gotta see what seasons you have on here, because I see season 1. Did they put all the seasons on here? Oh, they did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy. I know what I'm doing today. Because you're fucking out and I'm fucking in. I love that show. Boardwalk Empire, which everybody I've talked to said it was amazing. I'm going to try and start watching that. The White Queen from Stars. I actually did watch that for a time. It's not bad. But the problem is that you knew it was kind of only going to be on for a season. So they ended it kind of fucking weird. Strike Back, which was on Cinemax, is a pretty good show. I think I'm to the last 2 seasons. Because there's certain ones they don't update. You gotta pay for them. And fuck that, I'm not doing that. Deadwood from HBO is on here. I heard that was supposed to be good. Again, didn't see it. For the longest time, I didn't have HBO. For the obvious reason. Sons of Anarchy, all of them are on here. For those who don't know, they're also on Netflix. I like their play on words there. I have no idea what that is. There's something on here called Shit Creek. I've never heard of it. I might check that out. Just because of the wordplay that they used and because it's unrated. Which I'm a big fan of. I don't like censorship. Censoring. Sorry, I don't like censoring. Fuck censoring. Hence why I don't do it. And shit is not spelled like shit. It's spelled S-C-H-I-T-T. So I give you... That's part of the reason why I might check it out. I give you credit for the title. Downton Abbey is on here. I've never seen it. Covert Affairs is on here. That was an okay show. Blue Bloods, I've heard is good. That's on here. The Best of I Love Lucy, Volume 1. Never mind. Maybe that's what I'll do today. That's a good show. Something called Olympus. The first season of that. It's only got 3 stars. I don't know. House of Lies, which I heard was supposed to be good. Again, I don't know. I don't watch it. Banshee's on here. Season 1 anyway. Andy Griffith Season 1 is on here. Archer Season 1 is on here. Also, all the way up until this past season, which I sadly can't watch, is on Netflix. And then something called Bored to Death, which I've never seen, but looking at who's in it makes me interested. Let me see if I can find the cast list, and I can tell you directly who's in it. No, keep going. Cast is Jason Schwartzman, Zach Galifianakis, I can never pronounce his damn name. Galifianakis? Something like that? I don't know. Ted Danson, Heather Burns. It's a 7.9 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database. And surprisingly enough, that's usually pretty accurate. That's the best of Prime that's on here. I don't know. I mean, I'd check it out. Some of those shows sound interesting. Some of them I haven't seen or haven't, in a while or never saw. Could go through here one more time and see if they didn't add something to this. Oh, there's something I didn't notice. Alpha House. It's, I'm correct. It's supposed to be making fun of all the people who get the president into a comedy featuring John Goodman re-election battles looming in competing parties. Their party, these senators need a drink and a new housemate. Yeah, it's making fun of senators. You have senators. I don't know. I heard that it was supposed to be funny. Check it out. Other than that, I think that's about it. On Netflix, I know that they just updated. It's not Family Guy. It's American Dad. I'm already through that. That's pretty funny. I started watching. What's the name of the damn show? Brickleberry. That's fucking wrong. Which is why I like it. Let me think real quick here. They just updated, which is another thing I got to do within the next couple of days, is they just updated Peaky Blinders, which is an amazing show on Netflix. Sorry, I'm grabbing my controller. That's something else I'm going to have to start watching again. The season finale of the season before that almost made me cry. I'll be honest with you. The tension was high. Game of Thrones. I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry. Huge things happened this season so far. It's amazing as usual. I don't have HBO, but I go to my cousin's house every once in a while, and that's when I catch up. This past week's episode was pretty good. The week before that made me cry. There's very few shows that actually can do that. Usually it's like, oh, that was a sad moment. That sucked. Like, honestly, shows that honestly made me cry. Sons of Anarchy is one. Because everybody fucking dies. It's such a good show. I just said Game of Thrones. 24. There were a few really sad moments in that made me tear up a little. I think that's pretty much it. Band of Brothers, but I don't consider that, again. That's one of those where they call it a TV show, but it's really more like a TV series. So I don't know. Now I'm on the movie section right now of Amazon. Interstellar is on here. I have not seen it. The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1. Ex Machina, which I've never seen. I heard it was weird. The Wolf of Wall Street, which is amazing. Something called Dark Places. What the hell is that? We'll find out. For the best-selling book writer, Gillian Flynn, Gone Girl, Charlize Theron. Alright, automatically interested. Stars an acclaimed thriller about a woman investigating a family murder with the help of secret associate obsessed with solving notorious, keep scrolling, crimes. It's Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult, Christina Hendricks, Chloe Grace Moretz. Okay, automatically interested based on the very sexy people in this show. So that movie I'm going to check out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I went and saw in the theater. It sucked. Tyler Perry's Medea's Christmas. I think that's a little weird that that's on here in the middle of fucking, going into June. The Captive with Ryan Reynolds. I heard that was supposed to be really good. Another one of those where I don't think it was released to theaters. The new Transformer movie, which I obviously have no interest in seeing. Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit, which was with... hang on, I gotta call his name. It's Keira Knightley. Oh, cast. Keira Knightley, Kevin Costner, Kenneth Branagh. I can never pronounce his name. Branagh? Branagh. And Chris Pine. That's his name. I see his face on fucking everything. I don't know his name. The third Expendables is on here, which I thought sucked. Something called Everything Must Go with Will Ferrell. That's probably good. Selma. Anchorman 2. Top 5. The Gambler, which looked really good. The Words. Nicolas Cage in something, which is probably really bad. 7 Psychopaths, which I need to see. Harry Met Sally, which is funny. That thing about that one guy with the big boat. Where the supposed God drowned the whole world, which is a story full of bullshit. No shit. Is this the whole series? No, it's a film. Really? Huh. Starring Adam West. Batman, 1966. Damn. I might have to watch that. I assume that's what sparked the series, which is really good. I, Frankenstein, which I heard sucked. The Prince, which I didn't hear anybody talk about. Based on who's in it, I might check it out. The Land Before Time 2, fuck yes. The Woman in Black, the first one. Unlike Netflix, they actually put the first one on here. It's one of the things I don't like about Netflix. We'll put the second one on here. Well, what if I haven't seen the first one? That sucks. No, you should put the first one and the second one on here. If you're gonna put one of something, you should add. There's gonna be. If you're gonna put the sequel up, you should put the original up as well. Hook is on here. That movie is awesome. I didn't know that was unrated. Huh. A Most Wanted Man. That's it. I mean, there's obviously other movies in between, but I don't know what they are. And I don't know if they're looking bad. I already went over to Netflix. No, go back. Trying to think real quick going on. Quick check this out. Don't know if I said this already. I mean, previously. Justin Tuck signed 1-year deal with the Giants to retire with them. Jared Allen signed one day contract with the Vikings to retire with them. What's his name? Walter Thurman, 28, retired after 6 NFL seasons. Jim Harbaugh blasts Nick Sabin for satellite camp lecturing. Yeah, fuck both of you. No one cares. Oh. Bowen retires. The Hall of Fame ballot heading into 2017. Ooh, I might have to click on that. Fisher thinks Austin can catch 100 plus in 2016. Yeah, you know, it's pretty hard to catch 100 plus passes when you can't, when you're not that tall. I'm not saying that this is a big man's game in the NFL. I'm getting this information from NFL Network, I should add. But when I think he's, 5'7"? When you're 5'7", 5'8", that's my height. You're going to struggle. So, I don't know. Oh! It's a College Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. The whole list will be announced on January 6, 2017 in Tampa Bay. The entire names of all the people going into the College Hall of Fame are here. College football. I should add College Football Hall of Fame. Here we go. Morton Anderson. He was a Michigan State place kicker in 1981, first team All-American. He left MSU as the Big Ten all-time leader in field goals, 45, and is still standing conference record with a 63-yard field goal in 1981. Awesome. This is coming from footballfoundation.com. Eric Benany, Michael Bishop, quarterback. Benany is a running back out of Colorado. Quarterback, Kansas State, was Bishop. Lomas Brown, Florida offensive tackle. Terrell Buckley, defensive back, Florida State. Larry Burton, Purdue split end. Keith Byers, Ohio State running back. Freddie Carr, UTEP linebacker. Mark Carrier, Southern Cal defensive back. Matt Cavanaugh, Pittsburgh quarterback. Trevor Cobb. How long is this list? Oh, fuck it. I'm not going to keep going. All right, we'll go through the big names. I thought this was a short list. It's not. Tim Couch, Kentucky quarterback. He, of course, I believe, was with the Browns. Not the same person. Eric Dickerson, SMU running back. Marshall Faulk, San Diego State running back. He, of course, pretty much everybody knows who that is now. Tony Gonzalez, tight end out of Cal. Glad to see he's doing. Jason Hanson, Washington State place kicker. Shout out to Jason Hanson. That's my boy. Torrey Holt, North Carolina State wide receiver. Matt Leinart, Southern Cal quarterback. Fuck him. Ray Lewis, double murderer out of Miami, Florida. Peyton Manning, Tennessee quarterback. Still going. Hang on. This is a really long list. Jake Plummer out of Arkansas State. Troy Polamalu out of Southern Cal. It's one of those instances where I go, fuck Southern Cal. But you know what? Troy was a stand-up guy, so good for Troy. He's going to the other hall anyway. Antoine Randall out of Indiana. I know who that is. He hasn't played in forever. Simone Rice, Illinois linebacker. No shit. Ron Rivera, California linebacker. Bob Stein, defensive back, Minnesota. Matt Stinchcomb out of Georgia. He does some of the, I believe that's who that is. Look, 1998. Yeah, that's the guy that does, I believe, some of the SEC? Something like that. It's either SEC or ACC. I forget. Commentary. Brian Urlacher, New Mexico, defensive back. Really? Coach candidates. Steve Spurrier, Duke, Florida, and Southern Cal. I don't know. I'm not going to go through all these. That's pretty much it. If you guys want to see the rest of this list, it's www.footballfoundation.org. Or you can go to NFL.com and just look for, I believe the headline is called, it's CFB 24/7 Path. Peyton Manning, Marshall Faulk headline, 17 CFB Hall of Fame ballot. And there's a little link at the bottom, like midway through the page. It says, see the entire list of names, ballot, here. Click on that. That'll give you those guys. Other than that, I don't think anything's going on. Nope, that does it. That does it for sports. I'll do a little gaming conversation here real quick. I should do one of these all on gaming. I haven't yet. Games that are coming out that look really interesting. I know I've already talked about this before, but Ghost Recon Wildlands looks amazing. They just recently released, let me see if I can find it, a trailer for the game. Okay, so there's the E3 2015 Europe one by Ubisoft. That's 5 minutes long, and then I think this is the new one. Yeah, the new one is right before that. It's just Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's trailer We Are Ghosts US. It was released 5 days ago by Ubisoft. 5 days. Make sure I said days. Because sometimes the words enter my head and they don't come out my mouth the right way. Yeah, the game looks amazing. If I get it, I'm assuming I'm going to. I'll absolutely have to do something I never do, which is show a little gameplay on my screen. I gotta figure out how you do that, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's a way. Obviously, they're coming out with a new Madden. No one's excited about it. Because they're like, we're adding so many new features. Then you click on it and read what their new features are, and they're all the same shit. Haven't heard any news whatsoever about a new NCAA. I'll Google it to make sure nothing's come out in the last, 2 days. But last I checked, nothing new. Let me see. This would be 2017. The last thing that was updated was April 26th by Forbes. Newest sports games we wished existed. NCAA Football 17. Other than that, nothing since February. Oh, never mind. SB Nation, April 11th this year, explained that they are finally getting paid. The players are finally getting paid. After the whole lawsuit, they got paid. How much was the lawsuit, actually? Hang on. There we go. I don't know. I want to say it was like $60 million. Something like that. Something insane. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a lot going on. They did confirm. Hang on. This just made me think. Okay, this is coming directly from the source. From Telltale Games. They announced that they're going to come out with Walking Dead Season 3. The game. I know I already talked about this, but I don't think I had a date. I think they finally came out with one. May 11th. Nope. Okay, hang on. Okay, we have a release window according to Cineblend. Never heard of them. There's a lot of websites, I don't know what they are. Here. Somewhere, last I heard was supposedly December, which would make me cry if that's true. Okay. Doesn't say. I was really hoping that it would tell me. I'm not seeing anything. Let me double check one last thing. Initial release date 2016. That's real helpful. Yeah, it still just says 2016. Solid game. Absolutely play it. It's fun. Really helpful for season 3. I want it to come out now. It'd be great. I know that obviously can't happen. Like I said, last I supposedly heard, I heard somebody. Okay. They're expected to come out during Comic-Con. That's not surprising. Okay, let me live with that. Oh, never mind. They're talking about the first season. I thought I saw a date and I almost crapped my pants. And it was like season 1 was released on July 26th. And then it was like, 2014. I didn't see the 2014 part. I almost crapped myself. I was like, ooh, July? No. Last I heard, supposedly like December. Which is okay. No. Life goes on. And that's the end of this podcast. An hour and 5 minutes. Imagine if I wanted to go longer. I could. I have lots of shit rolling around up here. That's the podcast. We are really over this time. I know I keep going and then going, oh wait, that reminds me. No, this actually is the end. Wait, that reminds me. No, don't worry. I'm just fucking with you. This is the end of the Loose Haven Video Podcast. As always, we are brought to you as a huge thank you to Joe Rogan, the JRE, the Joe Rogan Experience. You can listen to him on iTunes. You can watch him on YouTube. You can listen to his comedy on Spotify. Quick blip about Spotify. This is not important if you stop listening, whatever. But Spotify's a bitch. Unless they want to sponsor me. Then they're fantastic. But I don't have premium, so they're a bitch. Also brought to you as a huge thank you to Zions. The only energy drink I drink. 0 calories, 0 sugar, no crash, no jitters. The great tasting 0 calorie energy drink. Real energy for real people. The unique formula that gives you the hashtag Power2Podcast. Finally got through it without needing to read that sumbitch. I had to in the intro. I had to look down. I was like, it's the last one, something about the people that drink it. The unique formula. That's the part. I always forget that part. Why? That's this. That's it. We're done. That's everything. Yeah, I had to change it because I don't want to get sued. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. I hope I did. If not, I am now. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. However, if they wish to sponsor me, that would be fan-fucking-tastic. Especially Joe. Because I feel like Joe would just be fun to have as a sponsor. They don't even have to pay me. I already sent a message off to Zions. I was like, you don't have to pay me. I just want to be able to use your name. I just want to be able to put the name on there and go, ta-da! You don't have to pay me shit. You just have to be able to just give you the naming rights so I can say it. Without worrying about a large wooden rounded mallet smacking down another piece of wood to scare the living shit out of me. Getting sued. That's what I'm going with. Getting sued. Anyway, I'm not sponsored by anybody. But I do have one sponsor that I did forget in the intro. And that is fucks. And they're not given here, they're not given there, they're not given fucking anywhere. Guys, have yourselves a great day, afternoon, evening, night, morning, whenever the fuck it is you're watching / listening to this. That does it. We're done. Bye.